That was Agadir. I've been exploring the city today before I head into the wild. This seaside resort is Morocco's second top tourist destination, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm heading east, into the Sahara and then on to Doukkala, a rural region in northern Morocco where a community of falconers live. It's time for me to explore the Moroccan countryside. Sous Massa is a taster of the desert. Nestled in the dunes, this reserve is home to a mythical beast from the Sahara, one that has now disappeared from the wild, the scimitar oryx. Reda is another committed naturalist. I want to share my impressions of Agadir with him and glean some advice. You know, I'm not too sure what to make of Agadir. It's hardly a centre for wildlife. I saw very few animals, apart from in the souk, where I saw animal skins and other dubious animal products.
Supposedly with magical properties. Take this spiny-tailed lizard, found in the Tata region.
It's a reptile, right?
Yeah. And it's sold in the souk by poachers on the black market. Now, legend has it that its blood can cure asthma. What nonsense. But its throat gets slit anyway.
I've heard they even use hyenas.
Yeah, the brains.
What do they do with them?
Sell them as magic charms.
So people actually wear them?
Right, and they cost a fortune, between 1,000 and 2,000 euros per gram. Last week, on a website, under the heading Animals for Sale, I found a falcon.
A falcon? I've come to Morocco to see falcons. I didn't realize you could buy one on the internet.
I called the guy. He wanted 300 dirhams for it. I bartered him down to 150. He delivered it to my house, and we released it back into the wild.
Right. So you brought a falcon?
Yeah.
With your own money?
Right.
And you set it free?
It was delivered in a box, that size.
No way.
A small cardboard box.
The size of a shoebox.
With a tiny hole, so it could breathe. That's all. It was a terrible state. When I set it free, I stood back and watched it fly away, and I felt so happy.
I can tell from the joy in your voice and the light in your eyes.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to spread the word on my trip.
Right.
I don't want to see falcons in cages. I want to see them in the wild, or at least living in harmony with a responsible owner.
You'll find a tribe of falconers in the Doukkala region.
Right.
Falconry is in their blood. They love their falcons.
Love is a strong word.
No, but it's true. You'll see. The falcons there don't live in cages. They live in a corner of their master's houses.
Really? In the living room?
Yeah. Falcons are revered.
That's
there.
amazing. Thanks,
You're
Reda.
welcome. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Perhaps the oryxes are behind that hill. I'm going to creep up on them. Amazing. I'm standing beside one of the rarest antelopes in the world, the scimitar oryx. It's beautiful, a work of art. This species of oryx is in real danger of extinction. It's amazing to see one. I'm observing its behavior. I'm acting like a predator, so it's a bit anxious. They don't like people creeping up on them and staring at them. Hunted through the ages by Saharan tribes for their meat and their skins, scimitar oryxes, with horns of up to 1.5 meters long, were even kept as pets in ancient Egypt, as a sign of prestige. I hope this oryx will one day leave this reserve and be free to roam the Sahara once again. I'm a real bird lover, so this is paradise for me. This is the only colony left in the world of this iconic species, the bald ibis. It's a wading bird with a long red curved beak and shiny black feathers. And of course, it has no feathers on its head. This beautiful bird is extremely rare and on the verge of extinction. This is its last bastion in the wild, and it's so exciting for me to be standing on the coast of Morocco, above the world's last colony of bold ibises. Incredible. This bodes well for the rest of my trip. It's a fine example of the many endangered species here, which are on the brink of the abyss, literally and figuratively. It's such a tragedy. Next stop, the Sahara, the biggest desert in the world. To get there, we must cross Morocco from west to east. It's a 600-kilometer trip that will take a good 10 hours. There's something there. Perhaps it's a bustard? It is. Amazing. It's the natural prey of the peregrine falcon. I've never seen one before. The bustard is so rare now due to hunting. There's a plan to reintroduce them to Morocco because they're on the verge of extinction. I've arrived in the desert. I must admit, I'm a bit dazed. There's a Bedouin camp. The sand is so fine. Look. If I walk that way, it will take me 42 days to get to Timbuktu. Time to find me a camel. Ahmed, how'd you do?
Everything's great.
Yeah.
How are you?
Fine. Thank you. I'll be honest, it feels a bit strange to arrive in this unfamiliar place.
Right.
I'm not used to the silence. I heard that in Marrakesh, tourists pay to get their photo taken with snakes. But the snakes keep dying, and so certain species are disappearing from the wild. At this rate, there will be no snakes left in Morocco.
Right.
They pull out the cobra's fangs.
Personally, I'm happy for people to use snakes to make a living, as long as they take care of them. If it's just for show, and they're not fed properly,
They don't seem to take care of them.
then no.
How do you see the future of this place?
We haven't looked after it. That's a failing, but it's mainly due to a lack of education. In Morocco, lots of species have become extinct. Iroquois Lake, for example, has dried up.
There was a lake there?
Well, there used to be a lake there, but it hasn't had a drop of water in it since around 1963.
So there's no lake there now? Which means there are no birds or fish?
No, nothing.
Just desert.
Just desert.
Will you make an early start with me tomorrow and show me the landscape?
I'd love to.
The desert makes you a bit delirious. You lose your bearings. We're in the southeast of Morocco, close to the border with Algeria, quite far from Marrakesh. We're southwest of Marrakesh, and east of Agadir. Our trek across the desert starts here. This is the final human outpost of the world's biggest desert. My fingers are freezing. That's the paradox of the desert. It's freezing cold at night, especially in winter, and boiling hot in the daytime, and always dry. An area is said to be arid if it gets less than 100 millimeters of rain a year. There are even hyper-arid areas further south, which get less than 5 millimeters. Let's see what this desert has to offer in terms of wildlife. Are you looking for animal footprints too?
Yes.
What are they?
Mice.
Mice?
Yes, mice, and those are fennecs.
Those are fennecs.
Yes, and those are beetles.
Are Berbers animal lovers?
Yes. We are especially close to dromedaries. If we see a dromedary rolling in the sand, well, that means that it's going to rain.
The dromedary really is your animal. There's a bird calling to us. The freshwater attracts desert sparrows, the odd, elegant, white-crowned wheatear, often found on their own, and the more gregarious trumpeter finches with their blood-red beaks. These birds travel far and wide for a drink. This is amazing. A herd of donkeys is approaching the oasis. The only wild donkeys you will see here are feral donkeys. In other words, domestic animals which have returned to the wild. They were neglected, so they came back to the desert. Now they live in wild herds. That young donkey is suckling. It's a unique sight. The goats roam from oasis to oasis, from rock to rock. They seem to enjoy being in the desert, despite the harsh landscape and extreme heat. Here's a Mahari. Careful. It's a type of dromedary. They come from Algeria. They are herbivores and they feed on acacia trees, thanks to their long necks, a bit like giraffes. They are the only large mammals living in the Sahara Desert. That's amazing. This species is becoming increasingly rare in the Sahara. They are Dorcas gazelles, one of the smallest breeds of gazelle, and they are all grey. They have tear pits in the corner of their eyes stretching down to their snout. The stripes make them look as if they're wearing masks. They're happy in this habitat, but they're in decline. Why? Because of desertification. People rightly think that the desert is expanding, but only because of the soil eroding. Bad farming methods, too much slashing and burning, too much burn beating, too much grazing, overgrazing even, in the case of sheep. The soil dries out and the wind blows the dust away. That just leaves rocks where nothing can grow, so the desert expands. And that poses a real threat to the animals of Morocco. They end up leaving the desert and heading for human habitats, which is no good at all. Zagora is on the edge of the desert. I am now going to travel from the south to the north of Morocco, crossing the High Atlas to reach the Middle Atlas, where I hope to see the country's last remaining wild monkeys. The key to biodiversity in deserts is oases. This palm grove is vast. It must be 12 kilometers wide. Where there's water, there's life, in the form of wild and domestic animals, such as sheep and donkeys. Where is your house?
My house is there.
So when you get up in the morning,